The other thing today, tensions are rising as a migrant caravan with people from parts of Central and South America is heading towards the U.S. from Mexico. We have NewsNation border correspondent Jorge Ventura live in San Antonio with more on this for us. So where is this caravan, Jorge, and how serious is the situation?
So, Connell, I've been speaking with my sources in Mexico who say that the caravan has just taken off from Tapachula, Mexico, so still traveling to Chiapas, Mexico. And then just since October, this is at least the 10th caravan to form and depart from that Tapachula area. According to Mexican immigration authorities, they expect even more of these caravans to form and depart in the coming days before President-elect takes office. You're looking at some of that footage now. Hundreds right now making that long trek north on foot. The majority of migrants in this caravan are Venezuelan. According to my contact, those migrants are headed towards that Juarez, Mexico area that's just right across El Paso. But the chances of that caravan actually reaching the U.S. border, well, that's slim to none, with Mexicans stepping up their own enforcement under Operation Carousel. That's why we are seeing those smaller groups still arrive to the U.S. border. Now, authorities in Mexico say that their shelters across the country are starting to see an uptick of new arrivals. This has prompted Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum to address the issue of deportations with the incoming Trump administration. President Sheinbaum making a surprising reversal on a policy. She just said last month that Mexico would push the United States to send non-Mexican deportees to their countries of origin. She has completely reversed on that position and says that Mexico is now open to accepting those foreign nationals. So an interesting development. Another tidbit that I got from some of my sources is that Mexican immigration authorities, a part of this kind of new tactic to break up those caravans, they are issuing these migrants 20-day humanitarian visas that would allow migrants to legally travel through Mexico and reach the U.S. border and either enter illegally or at least give them a chance to apply for an appointment on the CBP One app, Connell.
Now, go back to what you're talking about, President Sheinbaum. That is an interesting development in terms of accepting people who are not Mexican. What are they doing? Are they doing something to prepare? I mean, that would be, what are you hearing on the Mexican side about it?
So at least from the U.S. side right now, Connell, this will be a major win for the Trump administration. Now, on the Mexican side, they haven't revealed the exact details on how they will take in those foreign nationals. This comes as Mexico did open up 25 new shelters across the country to accept deported Mexican nationals. So it's unclear if they will open up additional shelters for foreign nationals. I did speak with an immigration attorney here in the U.S. who represents Venezuelan nationals. He says this new development, he believes, will lead to migrants actually self-deporting to their home countries to avoid the dangers of Mexico. Take a listen.
These foreign nationals are going to find it more desirable to be in their home country than it is to be in Mexico. And they'll eventually go back to their home country. And that's what we've seen in the past, in the last Trump administration, when they implemented the MPP program. And so I don't doubt that that's going to happen again.
And speaking with my sources in those Mexican border towns like Tijuana and Matamoros, they say expect migrants to rush to the border. Some will try to enter illegally before Trump takes office, and others will try to schedule an appointment on that CBP One app. Migrants do fear that that CBP One app will end on day one of Trump taking office, Connell.
All right, good reporting on all of this, Jorge, covering a lot of ground. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.